Charleston, 1847. A city thriving with trade, wealth, and opportunity, but also haunted by whispers of a woman so deadly, she became America's first female serial killer. Her name? Lavinia Fisher. They say she lured travelers with kindness, offered them tea, and then death. But who was Lavinia Fisher really? A cold-blooded killer, or a woman trapped in legend and myth? Backhand index pointing right, stay with me till the end, because by the time we're done, you'll question whether Lavinia was a monster or just a victim of history's darkest storytelling. Charleston, South Carolina, in the early 19th century was a hub for travelers, traders, and merchants. Inns along the roadsides weren't just places to sleep. They were lifelines for weary men carrying fortunes, secrets, and stories. The 6 Mile Inn, run by Lavinia and her husband John Fisher, stood at the edge of the city. At first glance, it looked like every other inn, but locals whispered, it wasn't just a rest stop, it was a trap. Do you think a place can carry an energy of fear, where walls themselves remember the crimes committed inside? Lavinia's most infamous weapon was deceptively simple, a cup of tea. Travelers reported, or rather, legends say, that she'd offer guests tea before bed. But this tea was laced with poison or opiates, strong enough to render men unconscious. Once asleep, some say her husband would rob them. Others claim the unlucky never woke up at all. Modern criminologists describe this as an early form of hospitality homicide, killers who hide behind kindness before striking. Would you take a drink from a stranger if your life depended on trusting them? Here's where fact and myth blur. Some tales say the Fishers had a trapdoor under the beds of their inn. Once poisoned, a victim would be dropped into the cellar, never to be seen again. While historians argue the story may be exaggerated, the imagery is unforgettable. A family in turning into a death chamber, where safety became slaughter. This is what psychologists call collective folklore. Over time, stories become darker, shaped not by truth but by fear. Do you think legends like this grow because of truth, or because people need monsters to fear? By 1819, travelers began disappearing too often. Locals accused the Fishers of running a murderous operation. Authorities raided the inn. Bodies? None were officially found, but enough evidence of robbery, fraud, and attempted murder surfaced to charge them. Yet here's the chilling twist. Despite Lavinia's legend as a serial killer, no court documents prove she was convicted of murder. Instead, she and her husband were sentenced to death for highway robbery, a capital crime at the time. If history has no proof, should Lavinia still be remembered as a killer? Or is she guilty simply because the legend says so? On February 18th, 1820, Lavinia Fisher faced a gallows. Unlike most condemned, she dressed in her wedding gown, white, defiant, and unbroken. Before her execution, she reportedly shouted, "If you have a message to the devil, give it to me, I'll deliver it myself." Historians debate whether she actually said this, but the line sealed her as an icon of evil. Even in death, Lavinia refused to bow to fear. Backhand index pointing right audience question. Do you think her last words were an act of courage or a performance to become unforgettable? Today, many believe Lavinia's spirit still lingers in Charleston. Ghost tours speak of her restless soul haunting the old jail, where she spent her final days. Visitors report shadows, cold touches, and the echo of a woman's scream. Paranormal experts call this residual haunting, where powerful emotions leave a permanent mark on a place. But skeptics argue it's just a story designed to lure tourists, much like Lavinia lured travelers. Backhand index pointing right audience question. Do you believe ghosts are real, or are they just history's way of keeping stories alive? Here's the truth. Lavinia Fisher may not have killed anyone. The evidence is thin. The tea, the trapdoor, the mass murders, all may be legend. Yet she endures as America's first female serial killer. Why? Because society needed a villain. A woman who broke every rule, hospitality, morality, religion, was turned into a monster to be remembered forever. What do you think? Was Lavinia Fisher a bloodthirsty killer, or just a victim of a story bigger than herself? The story of Lavinia Fisher isn't just about poison, murder, or myth. It's about how history chooses villains, and how legends last longer than truth. So I'll leave you with this. Are we telling Lavinia's story, or repeating the tale someone else wanted us to believe? Drop your theory in the comments below, because I want to know, monster or misunderstood. And don't forget, subscribe if you want to uncover more dark secrets, hidden histories, and the chilling legends that were never meant to be told.